Welcome back to the Football Exponential Show. I'm Chika, and I'm joined by Fran.
Hi, Chika. How's it going? And hello, everyone. Hello to our listeners and our followers. How's it going, everybody? How's the weekend
Oh,
going?
fine. We are here today. This is week two of the Premier League season. We
Yeah?
couldn't wait for the season to start, and then here we are. So let's enjoy
Okay.
this moment until maybe till May. Yeah.
I think it's been very, I think my opinion, I think it's taking a bit of time to get going because for that to be expected, it's been a busy summer for the Euros, Olympics. Players are coming back to fitness, but I think it's going to take a while to get everything settled. But as ever, always excited to dive into Premier League football. So let's go.
Okay, let's go with the first game. Yesterday, Brighton played host to Manchester United, to Eric Ten Hag's Manchester United, and it ended with Brighton beating United with a late goal from Joao Pedro, right? Yeah,
Ja,
Joao
Joao
Pedro.
Pedro.
Yeah, no,
Joao Pedro.
yeah,
Yeah,
Joao
Joao
Pedro with the
Pedro.
late goal from Joao Pedro. So, what do you have to say about the game?
Uh, it's uh, I think it's one of those fixtures that if you're a United fan, you'd have going into the season, you would just mark it down like, okay, I want to see if the team is changing. I think we'll see what the team is changing into. If the tactical issues they had last year has been fixed or they're trying to fix them, and if it's a situation where new players or new signings can come in and make the team better. Well, I think I was very surprised with the United lineup. I was very surprised he went with an unchanged lineup from match day one. Especially with the new striker coming in, scoring on debut. I think you tend to give him the starts or give him a full run out next time around. But I think the first half was I think it was a very cagey first half. There was a lot of I think it was a lot of sloppy passes,
So
sloppy
many sloppy
crosses.
passes
I think especially from the United
from both
attackers, Ahmad.
from both
I
sides.
think, but I think more like straight from Ahmad, Mount, Fernandez, Rashford. I think Rashford was the worst of them all. Where he,
I
they,
was thinking of taking Ahmad off before he scored the goal because he made a lot of before he scored the goal, he wasn't really in the game.
and but I think what Ahmad always gives you, like he gives you that extra technical security where he gets the ball, he keeps it, but his decision was a bit off. But I also think that's another topic we'll talk about the United shape with the two number eights as four strikers with Mount and Bruno. But I think Rashford was a lot of mistimed runs, a lot of bad passes, crossing, not attacking the fullback and offender or spacing behind. So I think all those I believe there's a lot of those situations going on. But I think for Brighton, I think they were same old Brighton. They were good on the ball. They kept it well. They moved the ball with pace. They attacked with good combinations on the wing. The midfield was solid. I think defending was good. And with Brighton, starting from last season coming to this season, I think their defensive line has gone up a few inches higher up the
Yeah,
pitch than it was last season. And I think overall it was very. I think it's typical for an early kickoff on a Saturday where it takes both teams a while to get into the groove of it. And as the game went on yesterday, the the quality and the tempo improved. Where I think after the first goal, it's sort of opened up. And if we should we start talking about the goals now or?
yeah, you can say whatever. Yeah, just
Yeah, I think,
wait.
yeah. The first goal from Danny Welbeck, who always seems to score against United these days, or since he left.
I've been watching this season. He's been playing football.
He looks,
The movement, he's bigger now. You can see he's added the weight. Yeah, but the movement, he's passing. I think
he's
I
a,
won't say the
he's
best player in
he's
his
he's a
career, but
complete
he,
for
like,
he's a complete forward now. Where you see the touch has
yeah,
always
the
been there.
touch.
The technique.
Yeah.
He still has that bit of pace where he can stretch the line, come back to receive it. He offers that physicality as
And
well
he's
with
using his
headers.
physicality well better now.
He scored two goals so far this season, and both goals you see a variety of finishes from a striker. Where the other one was a good shot, left footed shot around the edge of the box against Everton, and this one against United United yesterday was Pocher's goal, just capitalizing on some sloppy or uncertain defending from Manchester United. I think the initial cross was a good cross, but not it wasn't a spectacular cross. And United should have dealt with it at a lot better in terms of pressing and blocking the cross, or when the cross does come in, you make sure you get a good clearance on the cross. Then the cross goes over to Mitoma on the left wing. Then he puts in a fantastic ball in
Yeah.
on the ground for Weber to tap in. Just get a good foot on it and just take it past Andrew Onana. But I think it was from a United perspective. I think that's that that's one worry. That's a goal United considered a lot of last season. The cutbacks. Well,
Hmm.
this wasn't necessarily a cutback, but it's more crosses into the box, low crosses into the box, where you have players have to be attentive.
But you know they're letting Onana down with the goals they are conceding.
Yeah. I agree, but I think I think they're gonna watch that go back or watch the game back on Monday or whenever they do their game analysis, and they will. It's it it's a bad
And
goal
at the
to
time,
concede for.
at the time, Onana was their best midfielder with his passing from the back. I'm just saying it tells you how badly they failed to utilize him. That's why I'm not saying the other players are bad.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's
Yesterday, I
true.
thought how he could play ball from the back and he goes. He knows how to ping passes. Imagine Onana playing for a prime Jose Mourinho side, that Chelsea side that had Peter Cech. You know, Peter Cech, he could play long ball, but the crossing wasn't on that. But Nana knows how to distribute the ball from the back
Yeah,
straight to
I think that's, but I
right.
also think that's a very good point, and that's you can say a failing of the whole Ten Hag system at United, where you buy this goalkeeper to come in, and his selling point is he's a ball playing goalkeeper. He's very good on the ball. We bring in Andrew Onana, is going to improve our distribution, our playing from the back, it improve our possession game, and ultimately we haven't seen that aspect of United's play so far consistently because it's a situation where you have Onana trying to play out of the back, but ultimately going to the likes of Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, and a very direct players where
Mm.
you end up not keeping the ball. There's no control. You end up losing control of the game. And I think when games are like that, especially in the Premier League, it's when it's end to end, anything can happen. And as we saw with the winning goal, where they get corner, United don't defend well, then Brighton score from. But back to the flow of the game, United go 1-0 down, and they go in for halftime, and there's a change. Mason Mount goes off again for the new Dutch striker. And again, we go back to just talked about the system where Datanag is trying to implement. And I still don't understand it where you have these two strikers, and it seems you've structured your team so far in the three games, including the competition we've seen so far. You structured your team in a way where they set up in favor of these two number 10s, number 8s, Bruno and Mason Mount, where they defend high, they press high, they try to win balls back quickly as possible to get quick turnovers and capitalize on the pace they have on the wings. But the problem is you have to get this big money striker into this team sooner rather than later, and especially after a defeat, there's pressure to bring him on, and with the centre back you just put as well late, where you take off Harry Maguire almost towards the end of the game and you bring on another centre back. It wasn't Maguire was okay, could have finished the game. I think he wasn't playing badly, but he just had a lapse.
It was good against Fulham. That's
Yeah,
why
he was good. No, he
I
was
don't
good.
have
He
any
was good
problem
again.
starting him. If he was good against Fulham, I understand I don't have the leads, but to me, I'm still starting until he makes a mistake.
No,
Now,
Understand that you're starting, but what I don't understand is it's one of those old school thoughts or old school ideas where you don't sub out your centre back unless he's having a bad game.
yeah. I mean, why
So
must you?
it's and I don't know how much how much you put the second goal down to the lack of because it looked like a bad goal
But,
to
but,
concede.
but
Whether
why
it's
haven't they moved him on? Like, I don't get
they,
it because if you
no,
drop him,
no,
he's
they can't. No, they can't move him on, and it's a situation where with all most clubs are facing where you have players on big wages, um, and you just can't move them. You can't move them on. There's no viable option. So you sort of have to keep him around. When you need, you play him and just hope he plays well enough to United standard. And I think I think overall, I think he had an okay season last year. He's
yeah,
finding
yeah.
his way again, but it's
But the
it's
problem
tough.
he creates when you drop him, the press, it's not worth it. The press coverage, people saying he wants so much,
No,
but
I know,
uh,
I know, but that's your job as the manager to put all outside noise aside. And more so now, this is when you have options or better options with Martinez is back fit, the new centre back from Bayern, Matthias Delete. You have better options, or you have perceived better options than last season where it was John Evans, Varane, and the young French kid who moved on. But what one aspect I didn't like about United, especially when they went to they equalized and went towards the game was 1-1, was the lack of overall control they had in that game. And
but
it
no
seemed
one had control in that game. The both of them, like I won't say the both of them were looking for control in the game, but the both of, if you notice very very well in that game, and that is where also why I realize it's the Van Heek, the Dutch
Van Eyck, yeah,
defender. He
yeah,
was
was
always
good.
receiving the ball every time. He always receiving the ball, and United didn't bother to press him. They were all comfortable. The keeper gives him, he give,
Yeah,
and it was always he give the first person, they will miss the second pass. It was always the same. Then also United, then the other guys, Brighton were better in pressing United. It became unlike Brighton, who were using Van Heek to press from the back. United were using Onana to pass from the back.
to distribute,
So
yeah,
yeah, to distribute, yeah. But the two sides, the theme of the game was do not allow your opponent to be in dangerous position. You can allow him to have the ball, but don't
yeah,
threaten
yeah,
me. This guy has the
yeah.
ball. Don't threaten me. This guy has the ball. I don't really think it's control because it's totally different from if you watch Arsenal game and Aston Villa. Aston Villa Arsenal was back to back, back to back, back to back the two games. Now this is what I don't like about Man United. Listen to me. This is just in theory. Now, I like them with Mason Mount and Fernandez. I like the both of them
Finance,
off the ball
yeah.
because the pressing Mason Mount can press very very well, and he helps Fernandez in the pressing of the
But
ball.
I know, but I'll ask you a quick question. But don't you think in this situation when understand like the necessity of pressing and the
Yeah.
need for players like Messi Mount who are good at pressing and willing to press and have the legs to press. But
Uh,
it comes down to the part where if you're and I know the best teams right now in world football, they have tactical schemes for pressing and they have tactical schemes for controlling the game. But I think United they have that pressing side. They're working on it. You can see what they're trying to do with
mm,
Mount. But still the question is the control again. Back to the same point, control where you need players who can get their foot on the ball, find the right pass, find the spare man in wide channels, control the game, just move the ball about, and not necessarily always have to attack when you get the ball. Just
but
sometimes
there's a very big problem in United, and I've said it before, beginning of the season.
it's the
This is
it's the
why
lag.
this is why I didn't tip them to finish in top four. They have the players, and I'm not saying Ten Hag has
The
failed. I
decision
like him as
making.
a coach, but I'm
I
having a
don't.
problem that someone. This is it. I feel someone doesn't want him to play the way he wants to play.
But
Hold on.
no, no,
Be
no.
it
But
the
you can
technical.
actually.
Let me
Yeah,
give you an example. Let me
but
give you an example.
what is the way he
Look
wants
at
to
the
play?
player. He wants to play a counter-attacking football. They want him to play possession football, and that is not his style. This is listen to this scenario. I watch
Yeah, yeah,
Aston Villa yesterday. I
yeah.
watch
I
Aston
agree. To
Villa
an extent, I
yesterday.
agree.
You know who caught my eye?
Morgan
Rogers.
Rogers. Yeah, he was
Rogers.
fantastic. He
Now,
was fantastic yesterday.
imagine Morgan Rogers being behind Fernandez. You take out Fernandez, you bring in Morgan Rogers. You
But
rest
you can't.
Fernandez, play Morgan Rogers. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying
understand.
now. Take out Fernandez, you bring in Mount. It's totally two different players. But if you have Fernandez, have Morgan Rogers, then also have Ivan Toney. Now, because
I've,
Ivan
I've,
Toney, yeah, Ivan Toney here. If Ivan Toney as a striker can give you the pressing that they need. I don't know much about Zexi. I don't know much about him. I'm not really impressed. I don't know if he's a striker. But imagine them having Fernandez there, Amadou Diallo, I like Diallo, or whatever. Amadou Diallo
Diallo,
on
yeah.
the Ganucho should go ahead of Rashford. Imagine them having Fernandez, Ganucho, Diallo as their attacking midfielders. Then in front of them, they have Ivan Toney to press. Now, Ivan Toney gives you what Mason Mount could have given you in the pressing. And then when Fernandez is tired or whatever, you take him off and put Morgan Rogers. So imagine that scenario. You're not missing anything, but they are buying different players for the coach, and I don't think it's going to work.
No, no, okay, okay. I think let's try and wrap this up in the next minute or so. But I think two points you said. You said Morgan Rogers to Aston Villa. We all know we've seen Aston Villa the last year and a half. Aston Villa are a very well coached team. Can you say that about United?
I get no, they are not.
Okay, so it's not about signing players. Morgan Rogers was a player bought from the Championship in the January window this year, and in this space of time, this short space of time, we've
Yeah, yes, because
seen
I
we've
watched him
seen
against Chelsea with Middlesbrough.
yeah,
It wasn't
exactly.
this.
I think that was the last game for Middlesbrough. You've seen how much is developed or how much is showing his
I
qualities on
couldn't
the
believe
pitch.
that yesterday. Yeah,
But can't but so that's the question. Like that is down to Naomi where he has players like Tillemans behind him, he has Onana behind him, he has it's two centre backs that are fantastic on ball. Paul Torres, I mean Martinez is a good sweeper goalkeeper and also a keeper that should be doing or Onana should be doing what Martinez does for Arsenal in terms of controlling the game. And when I say control, it's not just passing; it's the tempo. You see, we're going to talk about Aston Villa and Arsenal. You see several times during the game where he gets the ball, he puts his studs on the football, he rolls it,
yeah.
passes it to the side. Okay, there's no escape there. He gets it again, rolls it to the other side, rolls it, passes it again. There's no option there. Then suddenly a midfielder drops. Tillman drops. He passes it to Tillman. Tillman passes it back to him. Then boom, there's space for Rogers because that Arsenal's pressing
No,
mechanism
but it
has
is it is coaching. It is coaching
so
because
it's coaching.
Douglas Luiz and Camara did that very very well beginning of the season.
So it's
Now
so
the
so
both of
so
them are
so
not there. Yeah, continue.
so I think to just wrap for United, I think I think their next game is against Liverpool at Old Trafford, and
That's
that's
the
a
wrong
game
game.
that yeah exactly. I think it's a game that comes at the wrong time, especially after a defeat, but it's also an opportunity to get things back on track. Because if you get, if I remember quite clearly, I think the next first
Yeah,
season after the
if
loss,
you're
after the
watching
loss,
this, if you're watching this and you enjoy what you're seeing, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for us
yeah.
for our audience. Yeah,
So
continue.
if you remember, like during Tenak's first season, after the loss, the first couple of games of the season, again against Brighton and against Brentford. Then the next game was against the third game was against Liverpool at Old Trafford, and I believe that's where are they turned the situation around. They made it I think that's one of the days where Ten will say, okay, no, you know what? This is what I want my team to look like. But the problem is they've had very few of those performances during his tenure.
But
So this,
the way they play, they'll continue to play like this because just one individual brilliance. You saw what Diallo did. He scores. That is not really coaching. It can save you. You will lose two games. You win like five games. You think you're on the right path. At the end of the season, you are still just do the rebuild. But they are scared of doing the rebuild. I don't know. But I'm seeing Ruben Alistano taking over in some maybe in a few.
yeah, that's. I think that. Do I believe you? But I think let's not push the
No,
panic buttons yet. They can get things around.
Fernandez needs help. He's the only guy that showed us the I'm not saying and also this is what I was thinking yesterday, and this is what they have.
Yeah.
Most successful Premier League sides have two wingers who can cause havoc for you. Arsenal don't have it, and then we go to Arsenal. Manchester City have it. They have Doku, they have Sevino, who from the sides can attack you. That's one. Um, Aston Villa don't have it because they have Bailey on the other side. They have McGinn the other side. McGinn is not really somebody who can attack the other side. Okay,
Yeah,
that's it. Different. Now, Manchester United have Garnacho and they have Diallo who can attack you from both sides. Now, but they are players that can beat you with speed. They are not players that control the ball and distribute like Fernandez does. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Now,
yeah.
so now that is what Chelsea they had Palmer on the other side, or Madueke on the other side, who are good. But on the left side, they don't have anybody. Arsenal had it when they were successful with Martinelli and Saka that can move from the two sides and cause havoc.
Successful.
Fernandez, no, when I mean the
Okay.
season they
Yeah, I
won
know.
title.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
Martinelli
Okay.
had a good season. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
winning title.
But
Fernandez needs help in the team.
yeah, I agree. But also, I think our last point. So I think we've gone before. So move on. I think
Yeah,
the
yeah.
last goal, the last goal they considered was a bit. I think was terrible. It was terrible around. That's
It was terrible defending.
it.
They have
Just
to.
I
You can
think
set an inquiry. You can set an inquiry for that game.
exactly.
For that,
So
this
like I said, they'll probably watch their tape. They watch the game again, and they'll analyze it. Well, that's just. At this level, that's a goal you should not be conceding. But we see it all the time. It's just lapse in concentration and not players not tracking runners or just having the awareness of where the danger is because it's the corner the corner gets swung in, they clear it out, and everyone just rushes to one side. And at the other side, you have three Brighton players free, ready to attack the cross that comes in. And but that's it. And also, I think the goal they had, the disqualified goal they had with Garnacho, that was very. I think that's the first.
their spirits. But it
And
was,
so I know,
but
so
it was offside basically.
I know
That,
it's offside. It's offside, but it's again like with football. We talk about it in that start game where you have these things go against you, or you don't take your chances, or when you do take your chances, then you have this situation where this one I've never seen before. So it's I I don't think United should panic yet, but I think Ten Hag has to start making tougher decisions in terms of bringing in, moving around certain players, getting his right players in the right spaces. If it means dropping Rashford to accommodate Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, and the striker, then you have to do it. Then you see how the game progresses. Then you bring up the likes of Garnacho or Rashford from the bench. But you have to find a way to get a focal point into that team. And I think they lacked that focal point for majority of the first half until he came on. But I think that's me done on United. So do you have anything to add?
no, let's go back to the Arsenal. Okay, against Arsenal had a game yesterday against Aston Villa, and they beat Aston Villa 2-0. Now, what do you have to say about the game? Mm. What are your
I think
observations?
I think I think it was a very good game.
Very,
It was
very
a
good game.
very it was a very good game
It didn't disappoint.
from a tactical point of view. There were good chances, there were good saves, there was top defense, there was some good attack play, there were some good counter attacking. It was this is that it was a good game, but and I think it's a game of fine margins where
By
on
man, I
another
don't
day,
think 2-0
yeah,
still the
it's
whole story.
it doesn't, but it's a game where it could have been anything. It could have been 2-2 to Aston,
Yeah,
2-0
yeah,
to
yeah.
Aston Villa.
Yeah.
It could be 2-2 to both Arsenal, 2-2 a score or draw. But the game comes down to you can sum the game up in two with two words, Watkins and David Raya. That's
Yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
that's
But
and
Watkins should have taken his chances. That was
it,
like he had
no, 100%,
another
100%,
goal,
100%,
and
100%.
this
Like,
yeah, the difference for Villa last season. Maybe it was those kind of goals. Yeah, yeah, the difference
yeah,
for him.
and in my opinion, I believe look after having watched the replay again this morning, it's I feel the first miss is worse than the second miss
But the first
because
miss is the second miss is
because
brilliant of the goalkeeper. You could, but
yeah,
the first miss
but the
is
first
very
miss that's if there's any striker ever that or any striker around that says okay I want to get if I get a chance in the box what would it look like? That is what you get. That's the image you get where you're played in, you're free. You could have taken a touch. You could have taken a touch, and opened up the angle, but he just coughed it. But and it's one of those things that it happens. It happens to the best. like I always say, like strikers, I don't begrudge strikers for missing chances because that's the job. To score goals, you have to miss chances. You have to get chances, and sometimes you miss. Some days you look clinical, and but that's one point. And with David Raya, it's this is Arteta's design. Where back again to the point of coaches making decisions, where you've made your first decision with Ramsdale, pick Ramsdale.
Mhm.
Ramsdale's going to be the one to come in. Ramsdale didn't do
But
all. He didn't do all. It wasn't.
he has, I have hyperbole, right? He
Yeah,
has made like the worst decision in terms of goalkeeping, but it's still good.
I know,
He passed
I
on
know.
Leno. He passed on Martinez. That's two goalkeepers that are one of top 10 Premier League
Yeah,
goalkeepers. He passed on Leno, passed on Martinez, passed on Ramsdale also. Now he's in his fourth goalkeeper, Raya. And to me, Raya suits the system more than maybe Martinez could have been better. I don't know. It depends on who you ask for. Let's just go with Raya. Raya suits the system more than many of them. But it
but it
just keeps
works.
on. It
But it
works.
works. So
That's when the
it
board
works.
continuously backs the coach. Okay, I don't
Yeah.
want this person. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind.
exactly that's where like we see with the in terms of stability, where you see and says stability and trust in what you're trying to do. I'm not going to use the word process, but in what you're trying to achieve. Where Ramsey wasn't, in my opinion, all that bad. But you look at it, and you say, you know what, we can do better. We can go
Upgrade,
the
yeah,
next
yeah.
level. We can go that next level. And shout out to the all up. Credit to the recruitment team. They picked out a Premier League goalkeeper that was in mid table, and Raya bring him in, and I think he's gone off to become one of the best in the Premier League right now. Because that save, it's what goalkeepers work on in terms of their reaction saves, going down, coming back quickly, and just making yourself as big as possible
But
in
you know,
goal.
if Villa had scored first or if Villa had equalized the game, it would have been a different game. It could have been a different game.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
you
Yeah,
look at partly goals, you see that it's because of confidence. They kept on pushing Villa. You see that
yeah,
those sort of goals don't come in. Yeah. They
yeah,
are this but and also is a very good if I'm Arsenal, if I'm in an Emery, I'm not there's nothing I'm telling my side. I'm just telling them next time you have to convert most of your chances. You have to take your
yeah.
chances.
Because
Yeah,
and again, you're playing one of the you're playing a very good team in Arsenal. And it's not
yeah.
because I think the statistics of that as of they've only
I didn't beat
considered.
them last season.
No,
Didn't take
I know, but also and it's I think for Arsenal it's a mental hurdle they have to
Yeah,
they
this
have
is
to
a sort of
they
game.
have
If I'm looking at the calendar, I saw the fixture list and I'm like, this is very important for us now. No matter this is the sort of game we look at. We have to win this game if we want to win the league. Yeah, it
yeah
tells you
exactly.
on
So
the right
it's
path.
so that mental aspect where you have to a place where against Unai Emery where they have this Arsenal fans they have this funny relationship where they feel how they feel, but it was very important for Arsenal to get that win yesterday. I think it's also important on how they got it. Your keeper making saves, your defender defending well, your attacking players trying to create chances. They didn't create a lot, but they created enough to ultimately win it.
But if I'm
Then you
Arsenal, I'm worried a little. You
let's
know why? You
yeah,
know
yeah,
why?
yeah,
Saka, he assist. You look at the first assist Saka had to cross the ball. Like that was a very good crossing on his weaker right foot. That was a
yeah.
good assist. Now, the way I'm looking at them play, if I'm them, I didn't ever think I'll think of this. But if I'm them, like I'm thinking, who are the good strikers? Maybe I'm scared of getting Osimhen because of injury or two. He's too expensive. I don't know much about Bucharest, the Sporting Lisbon guy. They wanted Sushish. The is it Sushish? The
Sesko,
Leipzig. Is it
Sesko,
Sesko? Okay, sorry. Okay,
Benjamin
Sesko,
Sesko.
sorry. They wanted Sesko, and then if there's nobody else. I might as well go and get Ademola Lookman. And this is my
He's
reason.
but I think it's too late.
If I'm having,
He's heading to PSG right now.
but you understand what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
Martinelli,
on
I can't wait for Martinelli to get back to season. It's looking like eternity. I'm not selling him this season, but
he looks
if I have Saka from this side and I have Ademola Lookman from this side, this guy is providing, this guy is providing. It reduces the pressure on Harvest to produce. You understand what I'm saying? There
Yeah,
are
no,
some games
boys.
that Saka will have a bad game, and then at the end, the press comes around and all those. Oh, he's likely to join PSG.
Yeah, I think I don't want to look at
Because
PSG. But
one thing I like about
on
him is not the player you look at the start to say he's good. Or you look at his eyeball, what he does on the pitch. Like um sort of player that is going to become like an Ademola Lookman. I don't think he's as talented, as naturally gifted, or has flair like Ademola Lookman. But is not a Madueke, like a player who is trying to impose himself, always trying to
yeah,
impose themselves on the game, even if the game is not suiting them. They don't have that natural flair. They don't have that natural talent. But they try as much as possible to impose themselves. It's not like a McLean, the Everton McLean that is a little bit withdrawn or something like that. Or, yeah, continue with what you're saying.
yeah. That's a good point, and I think it's something where Arsenal need to the situation Arsenal need to address, and I understand the lack of urgent the lack of activity in that area, those attacking departments or wide forward department, because they on their side they look at it like we have to get a player that's coming in with good experience, that's ultimately going to take this club, that's going to come in. Understand he might not be a starter right away, like Trossard when
Yeah,
they got Trossard
yeah,
in
yeah.
that January.
But I don't think Tota is a starter.
No,
I
no,
don't think.
I know, but I think right now in terms of even not just numbers, they have with Jesus being Jesus going through his
Well, I forgot they
if
have
it's
a.
yeah, I know, but going through his injury troubles, his form, that's the situation that's tough for them. So you have ultimately you're stuck with Havertz, Saka, and Martinelli, and Trossard off the bench, or vice versa, Martinelli and Trossard one off the bench and one starting. But I still think you need one option. That's where we'll touch on City because with City on the other side, they look so far this season their
No, they
best. I
look
think
ready. They
they
look
look
ready.
they look ready. They look ready, but they also have more in reserve. They have Walker's hasn't
Oh,
started the game yet. John Stones hasn't started. Rodri hasn't appeared in this season so far. Gundogan is back. They've added another fantastic winger to line up. Grealish is still around. I don't know what he offers,
but
and I
but
don't know
but
what he
but, but,
offers, but he's still around.
but no, he offers a lot.
Grealish.
Yeah. This is what I mean.
This,
Hold on. Is he of is his services worth 100 million that City paid for him? No.
no, but he's productive though.
But he can keep the ball and relieve you of pressure. He can hold on to it. He's a sort of a wing. He's a sort of an
Just
attacking, right attacking player. What?
sorry to cut you short. I think while we're recording, I think Chelsea game just started and Nicholas Jackson just flashed. Chelsea are leading Jackson.
Oh, Jackson scored. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
let's go to
actually
the.
Jackson. No.
Oh,
Back no. Back to the game. Back to the game.
yeah.
So you're talking about Grealish, but I think with Grealish, and it's not. I think it's a situation with Grealish and the other English player they signed, Calvin
Yeah.
Phillips. I see them going hand in hand, where you sign these two players to ultimately come into the team, increase your
We'll go to City. Let's
oh yeah,
finish
good
with us.
City. But I think
Let's finish.
I think with Arsenal, I think it's important to add. Like I would say with signings and signing players, like the player we spoke about in our United segment, Morgan Rogers, is a player that came from the Championship. So this is so where you have to find creative ways in terms of finding good players, like the likes of Morgan Rogers. You see a player like Simon Adingra at Brighton, who's so that players where I think I was 2 years ago I was playing in the Danish league. They went on loan, they came to the Premier League. So you have to find season, but I think if Arsenal don't get an extra player in those departments, in those wide forward or an actual striker, I think they will come back and haunt them this season. And
Yeah, but also, you are right. This is what I'm thinking. Also, the other left-sided player from Newcastle that was from Everton that went to Newcastle, that Liverpool.
Anthony Gordon, yeah,
If they have
yeah,
sort of Gordon on this side, Saka on this side, then I don't really
it's
need a
fantastic.
striker. That's the kind of player
Yeah,
they need. Yeah,
but with Gordon, Gordon, I think I have to
no, I'm not
shell
saying.
out. Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
but
you have to spend
I'm sure
money
that
to
big
get.
money. So, but you have to. That's why like, you have to find creative ways. If it means getting Raheem Sterling on
Because
loan from
Martinelli,
Chelsea,
I don't think it's a bad idea for them. But I think
I think it makes
but
a
it
lot of
might
sense.
unsettle the dressing room. It might unsettle the dressing room.
No,
Big Ryan Phillips.
I see
It
it's
might create more problems for them
no.
than solve.
I I think well it's this current Arsenal team is a team that's held closely by Arteta, and I don't believe a player like Sterling can come in and disrupt the the um the equation in
So,
that dressing room. So I think
but they have the dressing room.
and
No,
but
yes.
just for another point on Arsenal, I think we have to start talking about this player as not one of the best, as currently the best defender in the Premier League right now, Saliba. I
Saliban.
think
No,
I think
no,
he's what Van Dijk was when Van Dijk was Van
no,
Dijk
no.
before his
That, no yeah,
pre-ACL injury. Saliba
yeah,
was
he's
he's
fantastic.
that's because we all know what a championship winning defender looks like. You see Terry, Carvalho's, Vidic, Ferdinand, Otamendi as well. Otamendi, recent company at Man City. I think Saliba is I think by far the best defender in the Premier League
No,
right
he
now. And
gives you
this
apart from this is it. The first player I had that with is hold on, let me think. I want to think very, very. But there's some players. It's not just the football, their presence, what they bring. Kolo Toure reminded me that Kolo Toure,
so
not the Kolo Toure, not the Kolo Toure with so Campbell. Yeah,
so Campbell,
after
where
the
you
Invincibles, yeah, you could
yeah
see
yeah
every day
you
count on him. After so Campbell then retired, you could
you
see
see
Kolo Toure. Yeah,
Gallas when Gallas was Gallas at Chelsea, where
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
see, they don't give you, and I think it's this feeling in terms of defense. Like, that's why I don't put Gabriel on Saliba's level because Gabriel gives
No, no,
you
no,
it
no, no, no,
gives
no.
like because with the Watkins first miss, that's from Saliba, sorry, from Gabriel taking time on the
Yeah.
ball. He ultimately gets dispossessed, and that chance comes from there. But Saliba, he doesn't give the opposition team any chances. You can't stay even if it's 1v1.
Lucio also gave me that. Lucio,
That's
he has
that's a
Christian
fantastic
Keith.
shout.
He
That's a
had Christian Matras. I didn't get that with Matras. I got that with Lucio. Like you could see that presence.
you get that security where in every aspect, if it's winning area duels, if it's defending wide channels, if it's making long sprints on the counter to stop an attack like we saw on Jacob Ramsey, it's just the overall confidence it gives Arsenal, and this is where this is a title winning team in the making, where you can see the foundations from David Raya to Saliba and the partnership with Gabriel. They can rise in midfield. I still believe they're missing another creative midfielder, not attacking, but more a defensive minded midfielder. But I was very impressed with Timber yesterday. He was very, especially when he went into midfield, inverting into midfield, was always on the move, receiving in tight spaces, one touch and passing. I think he's gonna that's a player that's gonna take Arsenal to another level. Well, I believe Arsenal in terms of winning the title, they can go all the way. And as we all know, the Premier League it's a marathon, not a sprint. And with marathons, we all know there are certain bumps in the road where you get knocked down, but you have to pick yourself up.
I might have criticized Arteta for a long time. But if I look at this Arsenal, this is the first time in so many years. So many years.
No, no, but
That
I know, I know, but
win.
I know that, yeah, I believe they can, but it's it's right now. It's not quite. I believe Arsenal have shown that they are good enough to win it. Like we did that point totals in how because last season they won towards the back end of last season or the second half of last season. Out of 18 games, they won 16. Had they won
Yeah, yeah.
17 out of 18, they would have champions. So that's the fine margins they are dealing with. And to get to this level, it's so far in the Premier League, it's only been Pep, Klopp, Conte for a season, then he crumbles. That have gotten to this level. So it's not necessary, but it's just unfortunate they're going against Man City with and with all Man
Mm.
City come with. So I think with that point, let's segue towards the defending champions.
Yeah, Manchester City. First of all, let me start with City. I'm not really gonna talk much about City football because City will always be City, right? City will always be City. The only good thing I like about City is that City is the only team. I think Arsenal are becoming like that, but City is the only team that whenever they see someone who they are better than, whenever they see someone who's inferior to them, they beat the
They,
hell
they,
out of them.
they,
Like
they dispatch.
the
They dispatch.
the club wasn't like that in Liverpool. When you look at some fixtures, you look at for those who play fantasy. I play fantasy. I looked at the fixtures. I made Hala my captain. You know that they are leaving there with like 4-0. Is
They're
they hardly
they're,
make those sides. Yeah, they
they're
punish
living with
every time.
something.
Something, yeah. So that is what I've known them for. Now, this is my own point is not really football because I believe there's certain things more important than football. I was watching the City game and I saw a black referee for a very long time. I was so happy, right? Like
Let me see if I
as someone
let me
lives
see
in
if I
the
can get the
US.
name.
I like diversity a lot. I'm like everything. Yeah, his name is. I wrote his name. Sam Allison. I had to check him out. He's a former firefighter who is now a full-time referee. He played for Bristol City. I didn't know he played for a lot of teams before. Maybe
Yeah.
for academy. He's the second black referee. He's the second black referee ever. That's the senior referee or whatever they call it. See, the second that tells you a lot about the English game ever, and he's the first black referee in 15 years after Ulrich Rene since 2008. He's the first black
Okay.
referee in 15 years. That tells me they need to do more about diversity in the league because you see a lot of and check the UK population. The population of the black players in the United Kingdom is 4%, increasing from 3%, and you have only one black referee. They need to do better. Then there are more than 20 full-time referees. They call them select group one in the Premiership, and 350 assistants and fourth referee. And you have only one referees. One they also have a black referee as the assistant referee. You have only one referee as a black person among 20 full-time referees. That's a bad record. They have to improve on that. But that we have to give them credit when they've done. And I was so happy with him the way he officiated the game. He got the penalty right even though the penalty is 50, some referees will decide to play on because I didn't know.
Yeah, I think
But I was so
I
happy
didn't
when
have.
I saw like, because you have young kids who are there. It's not everybody that has to be a professional football, but you have young kids who should aspire to be referees. So congrats or thumbs up to the Premier League for doing that. Now over to you about the game. Yeah.
I think it's this this game we've seen this game 100 times with Man City this with Pep where it's Saturday they have the 3 o'clock kickoff UK time, but it's always more times it tends to be a comfortable game for them. But this time they go a goal down, sloppy defending, and this is a point where you see the weakness in this Man City team, and that's their defending transitions especially when Rodri is not around. I think so far Rico Lewis and Kovacic they've managed quite well in terms of defending in those central areas. But there's one situation where Rico Lewis doesn't track a run and the press or in terms of the players rushing, the players making that press or the player making that pass, they don't get it quick enough, and it shows a little. It shows a
But this
little.
is but this
There's a little
but this
something there. I don't think it's something that City should be worried about because if Rodri comes back, that probably improves as well. But then they go down, and this is where City. I almost feel like City in situations like they need to go a goal down for
down
them
to
to
you.
be for them to really be their best because they go down and everyone activates. You see Savinho, Doku, Haaland, De Bruyne, they all activate and the next and there's this 10 minute spell where they just destroy
It
Switch.
was 3-1 in I think first 15
Uh,
minutes or first 10
yeah.
minutes. It was already 3-1.
So I think between the goals, let me just check it out. So between the first and the third goal was about 4 minutes. So that's where they just activate and they just destroy you. And I think some of the goals, especially the second one, was the gift from
No,
the
no, no,
goalkeeper.
no. I don't really look at it. That's pressing. You,
That
you,
no, but
it,
no,
it,
I know, but
I
that's pressing.
understand it.
No,
Yeah.
But this specific instance with this specific goalkeeper is the same goalkeeper was at Burnley last season with Vincent Company, and it's the same goalkeeper that numerous times last season made made terrible errors
And,
in playing from the
and
back.
he's a former City Academy player.
Exactly. So it's something where if Ipswich Town, if you have any chance of staying in this league, that can happen. That can happen. You can you should take the odd mistake. That's fair. Against Man City, it's okay.
But when you
But if
have
you
that
have
record,
but if you have any plans of staying in that league, the keeper has to either get better, or they need to play differently, or they ultimately need to move on from him because
but why is it that when
that's
teams come up, why is it that when teams come up, they don't go for a safe hands? Like I was so happy when Bournemouth went for Neto. There are some keepers you just go for, like you are
yeah, and yeah.
Ariola want to go for Fabianski. I understand the certain style, but
Yeah,
I'm thinking of staying
I
up
understand the
right
point.
now. Right? After I stay up, I can always do whatever. Like Fabianski is on the bench. I don't think it's really that bad. Just go for someone that can. I don't know.
But
Because a
but
keeper could get you like 10 points in the season.
yeah, exactly. Especially
Yeah,
if you're down in that area where you're fighting for points. Because like you said with goalkeepers, it's funny because like David Raya, who's we spoke about in the Arsenal segment, was with Brentford in the Championship.
yeah.
He came to the Premier League with Brentford, and they've been. I think so. I think so far in recent years, Brentford are the ultimate blueprint for clubs coming from their lower division to the Premier League, where they found a way. They found that sweet balance in playing
But
playing.
my two favorite coaches in the Premier League right now. I've
Yeah,
always said it. My two favorite coaches, if I'm a player, I'm doing everything I'm even trekking to go and play for them. I'm doing everything to play for them. Thomas Frank and Marco Silva. Why do I like them? I like their
nah,
system. Like if
No,
you
Thomas Frank
understand
is
Thomas Frank and Marco Silva, it's not that they are too good but you understand how they want to play. It's either you suit
as
them or you don't suit them. Their system is very, very simple, and that's what I like about
yeah,
them.
yeah.
But Thomas Frank, the recruitment is awesome. They recruit
The
very, very
recruitment,
well.
but the way he sets his teams out to play, where they try to play out of the back when they can. They don't give. They're very compact when they have to be. They attack when they have to be. They keep the ball when they have to, when they have to, and they're very direct whenever they can. So it's this. They have different tools in their toolbox to counter out to counter fantastic teams in the Premier League. Because where it's tough. They have two fantastic goal scorers in Bremo and Johan Wissa. They have some good creative or technically good midfielders in the park. They have good defenders. They defend well, attack well. That's for any team that's coming from the Championship in the Premier League. I think Brentford that is the
Yeah, the
model
money.
we should try to get in terms of playing style and approach and adjusting to the needs of the Premier League. But I think, like I said, with that goalkeeper at Ipswich Town, that's it. I believe if he keeps on playing for them this season, that will
Yeah.
happen again.
If I'm City, if I'm other coaches, I'm looking at that City together, and I'm saying to myself, I can beat them. And because if you look at
You
the
think
pass, look at that pass from Ben Johnson. I had to check.
yeah,
This
yeah, it
guy,
was a good
I
pass.
thought
It
he
was a
was
good
a
pass.
defender for. I thought he was a defender for West Ham. Was he
Yeah,
not a defender?
it's a defender. It's a defender. Yeah, I think we're making his debut yesterday from
Yeah,
signing
from
for West Ham.
yeah. If you look at the pass, and then the guy is this Simodic or something.
S-
Simodic or
Yeah,
something.
that's the name.
Yeah, he's
That's the
an
name.
Irish guy. He was bad. He was signed from Blackburn Rovers. I think he
Yeah,
was
no, he had a fantastic season last year with
fantastic.
Blackburn
If you
Rovers.
look at the pass was good. The way the guy, I'm telling myself, if there's any criticism that Pep Guardiola has always had in most of his sides, like he could get them on the quick counter.
Yeah,
Simeone, there was a Champions League game. I've forgotten the
yeah,
season.
but
That was
yeah,
That
yeah,
was Luna's best season ever. I could remember that goal he scored. Like he became a shadow of himself. If you watch them, if you take your chances against them, and like I'm looking at the likes of Eddie Howe, where they have quick players who
yeah.
just
Newcastle,
play
yeah,
quick
I
attack.
think
But it's easier said than
Newcastle
done.
is
It's
yeah. There's
easier
easier
said
said
than
than
done.
done, and you also have
Isak
to
and Gomes.
and
Yeah, they can
and
do.
and with as much as you can say these are City's weaknesses, but they have two of the best players in the league in terms of attacking threats. Erling Haaland, what else can we say? Like I think he writes his own paragraphs by himself these days in terms of his goal scoring prowess. It's
And if there's
unbelievable.
any club, if there's any club
It's
that should not have that should have done everything or prayed or vetoed or fought for Gundogan not to come back to the Premier League is Arsenal. Because as soon as he comes, you see yesterday he just came back. He's on the
yeah, and
bench.
it's
You
and
realize
see
that as soon as
I And you see
That's
it's
because
because as it comes on the second half, and after the game, he speaks about like you see it makes so much sense. And like he fits into the team with all the extra intangibles it brings to that Man City squad. And ultimately, it looks a simple signing, but it improves Man City.
it improves massively.
It takes a team that everyone has fancied before ball was kicked this season to the next level. But
He was
also
their
I
best
think
player this season. He left the season. It was no. I think Haaland was better, but
yeah,
he
no,
was the
I
second
think Haaland,
best
yeah,
player.
I think it was yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
his last action as a Man City player was lifting
But
the
in the
Champions League
game, the
trophy.
game against the last game was FA Cup. FA Cup against Manchester United. That was his
No,
last
no,
game
no,
for City.
no, they lost. No, the FA Cup came before the Champions League because Champions League is normally the cutting
Oh yeah,
closer
yeah, yeah,
for.
yeah, yeah. I forgot. Yeah, 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 yeah. And
I think
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. The
I
FA
think
Cup.
yeah,
The Champions League is the last game of the season. Yeah,
yeah,
the FA Cup. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think so. I think because he
But
scored.
against Manchester United, he was the man of the match. I can
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
United.
like
And
we
then
know
he
like
did something in Barcelona also. Because I don't really judge players in Barca. Barca is like Chelsea to me. Like it's difficult for me to really say.
at least Chelsea have money, so Chelsea don't have to. Chelsea don't have to pull levers. We don't have to sell.
No, supposed to listen to me too. I was listening to Baba Yang. I just told myself that means that's the same thing they did to Baba Yang. They release
No, he
one
said
player,
no,
the
no. He
player,
said it. No, he said.
I mean they push
No,
him
there
out the
was
door.
no,
They push him out the door.
I think there was a goodbye statement Gundogan put out, and in the statement he says he doesn't quite say it word for word, but I'm paraphrasing right now. But he says for financial reasons I have to
Uh,
go.
let's go quickly with the
Yeah,
other games.
no,
Yeah,
before we have to talk
yeah.
about, we have to touch on Savinho and Doku. I think those, when we talked about Arsenal's wide forwards or wide or
And also
wingers,
that's what Brighton also gives you. You have Mitoma,
exactly,
you have
you see it.
yeah.
So you see it, and I believe Chelsea are trying to get that same thing going with the signing of Neto, where it feels like football is going back. It's going back in time to when you had actual wingers, not coming into or wingers instead
I
of
think Nigeria have
wide
Kennedy George,
forwards.
Kennedy George, and
Yeah.
then they had Amki on the other side. Yeah, you
So
have
you
two
so you
two.
see so you see that they're going back to that Duff and Robin from Chelsea, Perez and
Yeah,
Overmars Perez, that kind of
yeah, yeah.
pacey, creative wingers that can take on the man. They can also put in a cross, come in, they can shoot. I think I think with City it's just as as days go by with terms of what clubs are doing and results, it just looks like it's Arsenal need Arsenal need to do a lot to stop City, and it's we'll see. But that's it on City.
A quick one.
What
Tottenham. How do you see Tottenham? Tottenham defeated Everton. Was it 4-0?
was for 4-0, and
Jesus.
again, I think for a Sean Dyche team that's coming off 3-0 home
That,
loss against
and I
Brighton,
heard this is the
that's
last season at their stadium.
yeah,
Man,
they're moving stadium.
they're
Yeah,
moving.
I
That's
think
a
they're
good
moving
one.
stadium this year. Yeah, but you have to ultimately make sure you're moving to that new stadium as a
On the
Premier League
high,
team,
yeah.
not a
But what's
championship.
the problem? They have Iwe William, which I was so happy when I saw a young boy from Aston Villa. But I think what has happened is that so many of their players have dipped. Like so many
Yeah,
players that they've been using the same players, and the players that have been producing or overperforming. This is the same Gueye, Idrisi guy. Is it is
it is
Idrisi
again. Yeah,
is
it's
his guy? Yeah,
it is again.
for
Yeah,
so long before he left for Everton for PSG, that was way back like 4 years ago. He was their best player, and this is the same player that is still starting for them to date. They have
yeah,
that correct who was back, who was up and down, up and down, up and down. He's still in the. I think so many of them, and then McLean has not kicked off. Jack Harrison has not. And they have a real problem. And Calvin Lewin, I don't think if I'm them, they've had so
I,
many. They have Beto, they
you
have
have
strikers.
well, yeah, exactly. Because
And they,
I feel but it's also important to put in context. You're coming off. I know conceding 7 goals so far it's not ideal, but you're coming up against Brighton, coming up against Tottenham away. Those are no matter how good, those are tough games where you go to. Those teams can dispatch. You can dispatch anyone in the Premier League quite comfortably on a good day. But the worry for me with Everton is I hope it's just a blip with Pickford in terms of the mistake he made for the second goal, the Son's first goal, where he gets they play the ball back to him, he takes time on the ball, Son dashes, steals it from him and tucks it away. I hope it's just a blip in terms of his overall performance because if you can get with Everton under Sean Dyche, if you can get Pickford and the defense right,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
can
yeah.
count on Calvert-Lewin scoring goals up front and with Dokore.
The core scoring
Exactly.
some important goals. That's
Exactly.
why I want them out here. They have
So
so much
I
experience.
think that's
They'll
but
figure it. They grind it out. They know how to grind out
they
results.
know and again, like I said, the experience. Like Sean Dyche is one of there are very few coaches I trust with my team at that side of the table where you're fighting for points week in week out, and you have to get the right mentality, the right attitude and approach to how you navigate week in week out, getting beats, bad results, and how you bounce back. So I believe Everton. I think they'll be
But
fine.
on the part of Tottenham, I was so impressed with what the coach did, and that is why I like innovation. He had kids in the midfield in the last game. He had the Gray, right? It's Gray, right?
Yeah, I think, and no,
Chigre, Chigre,
actually, he came. No,
Chigre, and then
he was subbed on. He came
no,
from the
no, no.
bench.
I'm talking of the last game. He came from the bench. On
Yeah,
the end, when he needed fresh legs, he put another Danish guy. Is he a Danish guy or Swedish guy?
Swedish.
What's his name?
Chelsea
Ben
Wawa.
Wib. Oh, Chihuahua. Oh, name. What's the second guy's name from
Bergvall. Bergvall, Swedish
the
attacking
he put them
midfielder.
in.
Bergvall.
You could see that they are still young for that to anchor the midfield. They still had Sam still, but yesterday he went with experience. He went with Madison, Kukulevsky. I never knew he could play in the midfield. He went with him, and then they thought there was a third guy, Bizuma, and then Bizuma. If I'm him, I'm telling myself, really have to start my season because he's been up and down, up and down, up and down since they signed him.
Yeah,
And I
it's
know I think he has the ability, but I think he's the mentality.
with players like
Before there was a
players
Caicedo, there was a
the,
Bizuma.
the players like Bissouma, Caicedo, and it's they have you see they have all the tools to get it to get it right, but they just like that the frequency is not sometimes it's not quite there, the consistency is not quite there to get them to levels of like Declan Rice where you're a very durable, strong performer week in, week out, home away, your level is always high. So that's with Tottenham it's more a point on consistency and
I hope
taking
the Dutch guy
taking
injury
your
is not all
chances.
that. I hope the
Uh
Dutch guy is the
yeah, yeah, they said it was more just a precautionary
Okay.
substitution, but
But he
but
went off against Chelsea. Was it last season? Yeah, he was injured
yeah,
against Chelsea.
we didn't see him for a
How
long time then. But with
he has a very fast recovery.
I know, but Tottenham is just I think it's a matter of consistency where and with like we said on Busuma and another player I want to that as well, it's Madison where Madison can go from
I'm not
fantastic
expecting
from
I'm not
no,
expecting
no
until
I know no
yeah,
but he had but for Tottenham to achieve to achieve anything this season in terms of Champions League places or ultimately pushing for a title or winning cups or thereabouts. Madison needs to be consistent from match day one and towards the latter part of the season. Because when he got injured against Chelsea, that's where his season
was
died there.
never the same. Yeah, it
So
was
he
never the
came
same.
back. There were a few flashes of good form, but there was no consistency. So if you can get likes of Busuma, Madison, and Romero fits and firing. Van der Ven is fit on good form. You can have a Doji. Some always score goals in the Premier League. So there's a lot of good aspects. But the problem with Tottenham, and especially this season with more games in Europe in the Europa League, you have to rotate the squad properly. You have to bring in players, take players out. So that's where if they can get that right balance and consistency, I believe they'll be okay.
Okay, so Frank, that should be all for us today. Do
Okay.
you have a word for our audience?
No, just thank you for the support and thanks for following this page and following our journey so far.
Okay, I'll meet again for the review of the Chelsea game.
Yeah,
Uh,
Chelsea. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I'll,
okay,
I'll see
thank
you for
you.
that. Thank you. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye bye.